done.
That's it?
Yo, what up? It's Double Drivel Dan Evans, a.k.a. The Sweetness.
Yo, what up? It's Zach, a.k.a. Loverboy. That's for you, Arrested Development fans.
Yeah, 4 games is all it took for San Antonio to dispose of the Grizzlies. Bye-bye. I called it in 5.
Yeah, I called it in 7. I had the Grizz winning it in 7. Couldn't have been more wrong. I gotta own up to my shit. And I was wrong. But I'll tell you this. The Spurs shut down Zebo. That was the number one thing that took the Grizz out of the series.
They had to.
Honestly. And no perimeter scoring.
None.
Other than Coupon, who was legit.
Bonnet looks good going forward, but you cannot rely on him so heavily, Memphis. And the semifinals like that, it's not okay. He's not good enough there. He's not there yet. Conley had to pick up the slack. Tayshaun Prince had to pick up some slack. This team just has no transition offense whatsoever, no perimeter offense whatsoever, and that plays right in San Antonio's hands, who don't go after a lot of offensive rebounds and just hustle back on D all the time so they can get set. And let's not forget, they were the 6th best defense throughout the season. This was no defensive slacking team. They know how to play ball, and they can play ball down low. And Memphis just struggled to score outside of the perimeter all series long, and in the end, it was not enough for Tony Parker and the Spurs. They just had too much for Memphis.
Yep, and then Jalen Rose even went as far as saying as Tony Parker is the 3rd best player in the league.
I wish this isn't how people had to talk about sports and sports figures. They have to be so hyperbolic. They have to arbitrarily assign people numbers in a 1 through 10 list so people will pay attention to them. Jalen, here's the thing. Any of us NBA fans, we know Tony's great. We know he's a cheating French bastard, but we know he's also great at basketball. He's not top 3. He's not even the 1st best point guard in the league. Not even the 2nd best point guard in the league. But he's a phenomenal player. We just don't have to be hyperbolic about it all. That's my problem with the way that we structure sports arguments.
Right, and maybe his ranking would be even a little bit higher if he didn't do Eva Longoria so wrong.
Right, exactly. Or his boy Bones.
Yeah,
that's
the Brent Berry.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, it's tied up 2-2 after a wild finish to Game 4 in the Spurs, or into the Heat Pacers series.
Yep. It's the Heat and the Pacers that are playing. And it's still the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And right now it's 2-2 in the series. And last night was just Roy Hibbert doing his thing on the boards.
Roy Hibbert, Lance Stevenson,
yeah, Lance
born
Stevenson.
ready, baby. Hashtag born ready. It should be trending all day long.
And at the end of the day, if you're the Miami Heat, LeBron James needs more help. Chris Bosh can't go 1 for 7. Ray Allen can't lead this team in rebounds. I mean, it was nice Mario Chalmers gave 20 points. D. Wade showed up in the second half. But other than that, LeBron James was trying to do it all on his own, and this team did not have enough.
Yeah, and Birdman finally had a bad game. He had played 19 minutes. He was a -11 throughout the game. He had 2 rebounds and 4 fouls. But speaking of fouls, look at the last 5 minutes of this basketball game, and you will see all you need to know about this. LeBron fouls out. They get whistled about 5 times, as opposed to Indiana gets whistled 0 times. Indiana hits the boards in the last 5 minutes with 3 offensive and 6 defensive, and they hit like a couple extra shots, and that's it. But when you're extending positions and you're not getting blown for fouls, you're gonna win almost every single tight game there is. I mean, just look at the last 5 minutes, and that's all you gotta know about that game. Game 5 is going to be very interesting. Who you got winning Game 5?
I got the Heat winning the next 2 games of the series and closing this out.
No kidding. I got the Heat win the next one, but I think there will be a Game 7 like my original prediction. Finally, let's talk about some coach hirings. Atlanta's bringing Budenholzer over from San Antonio. You got to love this if you're a Hawks fan. If you don't love this, you're not a Hawks fan.
Absolutely. This makes this city so attractive as far as destinations go to free agents. You got a legit GM, and now you got a great young and
You got Pop's right-hand man. The dude's only 43 as well. He's been with the Spurs for 19 years. That's fantastic. Mike Malone looks like he might be the Kings' next head coach. Very, very attractive hire if they can get him from Golden State. Still a lot of problems with that team, but that's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of Golden State ties with this new team. The new owner was a minority owner for the Warriors, so we're talking about bringing in Mike Malone, also talking about bringing in Mullins as the GM possibly. So there could be
basically a Golden State coup in Sacramento.
Exactly.
Steve Clifford is the new coach in Charlotte, possibly the Hornets about to be. Not a lot of people know this guy, but this has been the Van Gundy's right-hand man. He was with Jeff in Houston for 7 years, and then spent 5 years with Stan in Orlando. And the Van Gundys love this dude. Jeff has gone on record already as saying this is a phenomenal hire for Charlotte.
Yep.
This isn't a splashy hire whatsoever, but this is a good hire for them. And finally, Hornacek goes to the Suns, bringing back the hometown boy. Makes sense, but it's still basketball purgatory.
Right. And real quick, talking about Clifford and Charlotte. I mean, this head coaching situation has been a revolving door. In order for him to survive, or any of his other guys for that matter, there needs to be personnel moves. There needs to be roster moves in order for this team to work out. And with Phoenix's move with Hornacek, I love it. I think that all of these coaching moves have been on par. And, I mean, the same thing like you said, it's basketball purgatory. They need to make moves as well because there's not going to be any success for either of these head coaches if the roster isn't right and they don't have teams to actually play with, you know?
Yeah. Double dribble. Blow.
Oh!